BenFlyingRetro, and I'm embarking on a quest to purchase every classic GI Joe comic from the original 80s and 90s Marvel run. Warning. Hunting down individual issues from every corner of the globe in whatever order the universe decides to give me. Join me and my pal Steve every week as we discuss my latest find. Welcome to Chasing Joe. Chasing Joe. I'm rowing to you! That's right, it's Chasing Joe! I'm BenFlyingRetro. I'm joined by my Brisbanian devil.
Wildman S-Chubs.
What episode is this?
Episode 32 of Chasing Joe. Welcome, everybody.
Wow, episode 32. That's an achievement. I haven't done 32 of anything in my life.
I think we spoke about this last week. Your podcast with your wife has been going more than 32 episodes.
Yep, fair enough. So, and if you're not listening, hop over there.
Yeah.
God.
See, Ben's missus cracked the whip. But, I mean, not that I have anything on her, like, I'm sure she's the boss, but somehow, Chasing Joe's managed to pull you along as well, Ben.
Oh, for sure. I always say I'm so committed. I'm more committed to this show than lots of other things in my actual life that I should be committed to.
I guess these comic books must be pretty all right then.
They've got such a hold over me. I've just got I'll never not have unfinished business with this run. Even when I've got them all, I don't know. It would be nice to read them all in order. Just
luxuriate over the way they were intended to be read.
Yeah.
Like, we've spoken about this before, but if I have the option of digital, trade paperback, or the original floppy, it's not even a choice. Like, I'm going to go for the real deal, man.
Of course.
The way it was...
So what's happened with I don't know how you store yours, but mine are in a long box, yeah? So it's really nice just to thumb through, almost like they're vinyl, and just take in the covers. I can do 20 minutes just looking at my favorite covers, and because they only go into the long box after this show, like each one makes me think of the episode we did and constantly changing my relationship with these issues.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Good. Yeah. Good. There's new context being added each time.
That's it.
I think it's hot take time, Ben. I've been sitting on this opinion for a long time in our Chasing Joe journey, and it's time I come clean. I, historically, give absolute rocks for covers.
Historically, okay.
Covers mean nothing to me. I just want to get into the story. I want to get into that first page. I don't even... The cover...
That's the hottest take I've ever heard.
Oh, okay.
Because covers are a separate art form. They have a job to do. There's a stylistic approach to it. They're a piece of art. They're a large piece of art. What's not to like?
It's always lost on me. I was like... I don't care much for the cover. I just want to get into the story. And that's why covers, until having these like very grown-up discussions about my favorite toy book, I never considered them. It's really so strange now to see how much consequence people hang on the cover of a comic book.
Well, look, S-Jubs, that almost is comic books now with the...
Yeah, you're saying that you get such great joy just thumbing through your vinyl collection of comic books in a long box.
I'm just saying
taking them out of their poly bag, without taking them off their boards.
Yeah.
Just like touching this piece of plastic.
Because it's your entry point, isn't it? So the cover just, it sets you going, makes you think about the book. But also... This was pre-variants, wasn't it? So you really dodged a bullet because you wouldn't be able to handle it now. No. What it's like now. It's absurd. It's too... Who the... What? Emma?
Wife. She wants to be on this podcast too.
That's the worst sneaking. Jeez.
All right, Ben. What have we got lined up this week? The postman.
Okay. Look. Well, he did, but he came a while ago because it is another special missions.
Oh yeah. In that massive lot where you paid what on average £1.60 for each.
Yes, £1.60. An incredible deal. Now, why is this mirrored? You can't read that.
I can, don't worry. It's your new laptop just playing tricks on your own display.
Look, for a man that doesn't like covers, I mean, geez, this is a good one. So look,
which issue have we got, Benjamin?
We've got issue 16. I've got no notes, so I'm going to have to look at my phone. So this dropped August the 2nd, 1988. We are well into the special missions run by now, and it looks like we have got a aerial dogfight issue.
You would be correct, yeah. Tight Circle is the name of issue 16, and it is pretty much wall-to-wall aerial action. There's no ground-based action, just a few, I suppose, instances of pilots in the recreational rooms, and some scheming by Cobra Commander and Dr. Mindbender.
But look at
you said that this cover's a banger. I beg to differ.
Maybe it's not a banger, but it's well drawn, and with anything in any kind of aerial dogfight or anything action in the sky, it is very difficult to get across momentum and speed. And I feel like this cover at least does a good job of, these guys are shifting. You just with the lines, these crazy lines, and
I can draw lines, Ben. Come on.
This guy.
I'm going for the jugular on this one. I've been too praiseworthy on this show, and now I've been able to flip because this cover, I think, stinks.
Stinker!
This is Ron Wagner, a man who I've had nothing but praise for in the past, not really doing anything to turn me on this cover. And I tell you what it comes down to. It's very weird to see a jet drawn right down the barrel. Like, absolutely dead centered on this thing, because like if you think about whenever we appreciate an aircraft from whatever angle, we're very seldom seeing it coming straight at us. So there's a weird disconnect when you see a Night Raven in its sort of front.
It reduces its mass to something very thin and
and
I suppose
looks strange. It looks strange. The missile also is almost like right down the line. Yeah, it makes things look strange. And this is something that Paul from Joburg put me onto. Like, never draw a character putting his gun straight to the camera, because then the gun just doesn't look like a gun.
Yes. Yeah. If you had a few degrees of tilt, you would actually see the entire top of the plane.
Aspect on it, a slightly different angle. So this doesn't work for me, man. Also, it's not entirely clear who the characters on it are.
Yeah.
That's not exactly Ace's classic goldfish bowl helmet. And while the guy in the backseat bears a striking resemblance to Maverick,
yeah.
In the issue, we learn that it's Lift Ticket in the backseat of the Sky Striker. So, like, it's a miscoloration then, I guess.
He really got carried away with his lines, because he's even done the kind of cartoon accent of alert, like with these little.
Good. Coming off of Lift Ticket's eyes, like dead,
like a so Metal Gear Solid. That noise. Yeah. This is almost like a screen grab. You know, you can imagine this in motion, and that's the vibe it's got with his chin cut off, and it's like you've just caught something. I do enjoy the yellow, and I enjoy the red special missions. What have we got on the back? What's your journey with this issue? Do you own it? Do you have memories of it?
don't own it, but I do tangentially have a memory of it because in a favorite special missions of mine, issue 20, Snowblind,
Yeah.
we've done it.
Yep.
The letter that references issue 16. I think they basically were trying to no prize Lady J. There's a moment in issue 16 where she's in the C-130, she smashes out the window with her M16.
It's the best bit.
And then takes shots at the Star Viper and his Stellar Stiletto. We'll get to that. Anyway, the letter basically was saying, like, why isn't she being sucked out of the porthole? Like, if you're going to depressurize a plane at that altitude. And the response was just like, no, they're not flying that high.
I was going to say they're not flying that high.
Yeah,
I didn't actually think about that once.
Yeah. Look, at C-130, it's not a high altitude aircraft.
It's a big bus. It's a big boat.
Driven. I mean, I'm sure they could be up at altitudes where you'd need oxygen, but they weren't in that mission. And I think the response was like, yeah, dude, you're thinking of like Goldfinger. Where, or a Goldfinger gets sucked like ass first through the side of the, it's a kind of a hokey old school way of thinking of these, like this explosive decompression and everyone's floating around the cabin suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at 40,000 feet, maybe so. But should we?
I knew what he was doing, I guess.
Should we open this sucker up? I feel like you've pretty much done the synopsis, really.
Well, I mean, there's a twist to this. Basically, Cobra is moving a whole lot of equipment to its airfield. GI Joe's like got them on the spy satellites, and they're like, let's take a closer look. So they stage a massive aerial operation, basically to draw Cobra's Air Force into a dogfight, leaving the way clear for the stealth fighter pilots and the X-19 to take some close-up pictures.
Even you don't mention his name.
I thought about dubbing myself what's-his-name for this episode, but that might tip our hand as to what we were reading. Anyway, so turns out Cobra Command was basically doing a feint. They were moving a whole lot of equipment to the airfield to draw everyone's attention away from the real operation, which was happening at the north of Cobra Island, at the docks, where they're moving ostensibly the civilian population of Cobra Island back to the continental United States. So,
okay.
Dude, did you think this was worthy of being a special mission?
I was going to say this felt like the most unspecial missions issue that we've done. However,
it's a supplementary story to the main line.
There is there's a lot that I want to say just about the first page. Now look, classified, HasLab, this Cobra wacky races, that is incredible. I want a Hot Wheels version of this in my life. I just think that is incredible, that thing. It's Ben, the flags.
Staff car, basically.
Yeah, but look at the size of the Cobra insignia. It's the whole hood. It's the whole bonnet. Cobra Commander.
Maybe it's a Hot Wheels or maybe it's something else, a dinky toy, sort of Mickey Mouse mobile. And it looks like this.
It's definitely got a Mickey Mouse vibe. Where's that coming from? The headlights, the shape?
Yeah, it's got that kind of Volkswagen-y swoop to it. Like a car of the future if you're in 1943.
I love this page. I love the Cobra HQ 5-kilometer signs.
Oh, it is.
I just love those road signs. I wish I had those where I live. This is so cool. Yeah, Cobra Commander and his battle armor. Have we covered an issue where he's in his battle armor yet? Big moment for me as a kid getting that toy. I was such a big fan of that figure.
Just because your first Cobra Commander.
Because he was my first Cobra Commander. I was like, I've been collecting these toys for years. I don't have the big bad. I was like, this is ridiculous. And even as a kid, I was like, okay, it's not my ideal version, but I actually grew to absolutely adore that version of him. And you can get him scrapping, get him fighting.
Yeah. You could do far worse.
Chief would always be like, it's not even him. It's Fred Seven.
Privileged information. Did Chief have a raghead Cobra Commander or mirror face? Did he have any Cobra Commander figure?
Negative. No. Yeah.
Tough one to get to your side of the pond.
Very much so. Yeah. No, so you are right. This is a slightly strange special missions. Takes a while to get going, but
Sure.
I do love taking a look at the GI Joe's rec room and then the Cobra rec room as they are both preparing for this aerial dogfight. Oh, look at that.
We'll get there. But did you notice the visorless Cobra Viper?
Not until now, but you have zoomed in so much. Look at it's like one of those effects in Adobe After Effects. Like, I'm going to make this feel like a comic book, but it is a comic book.
You can see the dot game. Well, it's a lot like Blade Runner, enhanced. And then, in fact, there's a sequence in this book where they do a sort of they press one button and it kind of blows up the light footage. But anyways, Trimpy has a habit of doing Vipers without their face shields, and it does make the goggles suddenly make sense.
Well, I think he was on driving duty that day, and he just felt like open top. I want the wind in my sails.
Yeah, man. Oh, another thing, if you zoom into the really close details, it seems like there's a maggot that is dressed up like a crane behind one of the hangars, which is a great idea for custom. Someone
really
out there
cool.
can do this so easily. Just replace the main turret with a crane arm, and you've got a utility vehicle.
I do love an airfield. I love an airstrip. And Cobra got themselves a proper one now. This isn't just coming out of a shop in Springfield. Like that, you got a lot of aircraft there.
They also reproduce, and this probably is Ron Wagner's original map that's just kind of reinserted in here, but the Cobra Island classic sort of aerial map is inserted in one of the panels.
Yeah.
Good idea of where you are situated. You can see the docks in the north, you can see the Cobra freighter, you can see the volcano, and then the airfield. Nice.
So Zartan is tightly lipped because he thinks that they could have lip readers that could...
The spy satellite, the GI Joe spy satellite orbiting above might have lip readers, so don't mention the plan.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder why the hell they need aerial photography if they've got such hot shit satellites right above. Like, what are you going to achieve with a plane that you can't do with this incredible satellite photography?
Now look, if you had to choose from the Pit 3 rec room or the Cobra rec room, which one are you going to hang out in? Now, the Joes have got table tennis, which, I am a huge fan of table tennis. That is hours of fun. I'm actually quite close to pulling the trigger on getting one for the garden, like some kind of all-weathered one.
Yeah, man.
But the Cobras do have a pinball machine, I think. Is it pinball or is it an arcade cab? No.
Pinball,
but they've also got Cobra Cola.
Yeah.
Which looks like a fine drink.
Though the guy in the foreground is grimacing as he's knocking it back. I don't know.
Yeah. It's lowest. Who's making that? It's lowest bidder.
For sure.
These Cobras, they're always talking about their different enhancements. Yeah?
Yes.
And there was... That makes me think of file cards. Always, and they're enhanced. And I often wonder, where does that enhancement happen in their journey of being a Cobra? Like, and what is it? Is that a medical procedure? Like, I don't understand. What did you take for that to mean when on all these file cards where you're always reading about enhancements? Like genetic, robotic,
cybernetic. Yeah, look, in the case of the Star Viper, it's an electronic shunt in their brain.
Ooh. Yeah,
to give them the most I'm probably confusing that with the Vapor, the pilots of the Hurricane. It seems like every subsequent year they added a new sort of wrinkle to it. Like it was the Strata Viper at first. They've got a reinforcement in their chest somehow to stop them from blacking out.
Yes, so to give them sort of, they can take more Gs.
Star Vipers, I think it is starting to delve into cybernetics in their brains.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the Vapor, which is the Hurricane VTOL pilots, it is an electronic shunt getting like live telemetry, like right into their brains.
I just think it's a rough gig for Cobra. I mean, what are you going to do when you
ever
retire?
Been the best of the best of the best with honors, sir? Like, if you are a Cobra hotshot jet jock,
tip of the sword,
you are all of a sudden given all the sort of the license to use unethical, illegal, under-tested procedures to make you even better than human. I think there are personalities out there that would jump at the opportunity to be better than human.
Yeah, I just worry for them, for their, when they hang it up and retire. I just feel like you're going to be an absolute mess.
Burnout. Well,
total burnout. Untested.
Judging by this issue, the attrition rate for Cobra pilots is very high. GI Joe, spoilers, do not have a single aerial loss in this, and Cobra loses every single one of their planes.
It's a massacre up there. It really is. And I've literally only just finished reading this, and I did feel the need for the Joes to have had some kind of a NPC up there with them. Some kind of loss.
Just use Vector, like Maverick and the Battle Force 2000 Vector. He can be the sacrificial lamb. Somebody's got to die.
Look, you see the rec rooms, and then it's scramble time, and up they go. Now, who have we got? We got lots of different aircraft. We've got the Sky Striker. We've got the X-19.
Very good.
The X, what's the other one? The 30. X. Yeah, now that just to me is Sunbow, like Slipstream. That was where I was introduced to that vehicle. Interesting look. How do you feel about it?
The Conquest,
mid-tier.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
in price as a toy.
Oh yeah. I guess. I mean, that's where its real merits would come in, because of course the Sky Striker was a bit more of a premium piece.
Oh, massively.
I guess Conquest was slightly less expensive. I don't know. It's
way smaller.
Not that much smaller, but certainly less complex. You don't have.
What do you call that wing structure of like the reverse? It's got a very unique kind of silhouette. I like it.
Forward sweep.
A forward sweep, yeah. It makes it look aggressive,
Makes it kind of look like it's miscast as a GI Joe plane, to be honest. With all those hard edges and like it looks like it's this extremely lethal like throwing weapon, like it's a martial art. It's like something a martial artist would stick onto the like as a pike, basically on the top of a staff. Difficult
for me to not look at it and just instantly think of that Slipstream episode of Sunbow with the female Cobra pilot.
So good.
Raven?
Yes, Raven.
And Mindbender's... What is there? Some sludge down there? There's something down there. Some monster.
Yeah.
That was a good episode. It was a good Monster of the Week episode.
It's a lovely episode. It's one of my favorite Sunbow episodes, and myself and many other Joe fans are holding thumbs that Super 7 deliver us an O-ring Raven figure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, this is by far the largest aerial dogfight-centric issue I think we've ever had. There's more panels of dogfighting in this than, what do you call it? For God's sake, what's the name of the issue, S-Jubs?
Shakedown.
You busted. Beverly Hills Cop. Shakedown, breakdown. Did you? Yeah. Sometimes, every now and again, I got a little sort of panel fatigue.
Sure.
Sometimes, I mean, you've picked out one of my favorite panels that just sort of really portrays the carnage of a dogfight. Aircraft in all different directions, carnage. Yeah.
It gets pretty busy.
Yep. But some of it feels quite sterile, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, a couple of aircrafts and a horizon line. You're getting perhaps as much character as you would if you were having like a on-the-ground firefight.
Now, this is happening live.
He likes drawing his aircraft, and boy, oh boy, did special missions give him plenty of opportunity to draw aircraft.
Let me just bring the listeners in, because this is happening right now live. Chief was ringing me. I said, I'm recording. What issue? Special Missions 16. And he just says, Megatron Jetfire mix-up.
He's getting mixed up with issue. I think it's 6.
I know, yeah, because I don't... It's
called Showdown. And that's where...
Jeez, made a mistake.
This is an issue that I know very well, in fact. But there's a ground crewman who's been unable to visit his son in hospital. But Ace or Slipstream, one of them, does. And he gives the ground crewman a Transformer toy to take to his son. Basically, the argument is like, it'll be better coming from his old man.
Yeah, and I do know this.
He hands him what he says is a Jetfire toy because it transforms into a swing wing fighter, like the Sky Striker. But it's actually drawn as Megatron. Anyway.
I see.
That was a little sidetrack into Showdown.
Chief got it wrong.
Issue 5 or 6 of Special Missions. But yes, Chief's been on my mind as well, because I've done something in preparation for this episode that I never do, which is listen to the Talking Joe episode dealing with the issue under consideration.
Okay, what episode was it?
Episode 30. This is a Chief and Chris Talking Joe episode. And I must credit Chris with
Diagnostic 80.
That's the one. With the notion that this doesn't seem like much of a special missions book. It does seem very ancillary to events that are happening in the main line. And this is something that happened every now and then with special missions. It really was interwoven with the main line, but kind of told an ancillary tale that needed to be told separately because it doesn't have any of the more soap opera elements of the
2 or 3 issues, maybe, something like that.
Yeah, well, the stuff that deals with Outback, getting away, and evading capture, getting back to the Joes.
Bringing back to this issue, though, we've got to love Mainframe making an appearance. One of my first figs. Mainframe and Lady J in the C-130.
Oh,
and
yes.
they are basically, Mainframe is just
Captain
dumping a load of digital noise over Cobra Island and making it a right mess for them. It would seem.
And having to explain himself to Lady J for our benefit.
Yes.
Did there, Larry?
Everyone needs a Mainframe. Who's going to do that stuff for you with your Green Army figs? No one.
It's incredible to me that there is only one Mainframe in GI Joe. I mean, the debut book gave us some more sort of computer nerd characters, for lack of a better term. But like within the classic run, Mainframe was just so central.
But I like how he's got those kind of overalls on. Like, he feels like he'd come to your house and fix your internet. And, he's got...
He still looks all business. He's got...
it's a lovely shade of grey. He's so cool. Good-looking chap. I like him.
Yeah, though you don't get it from these panels, but you certainly got it from the action figure that there was a kind of an age to the sculpt.
Yes.
Did you ever think that, like, you saw, this kind of bags under his eyes?
Yeah, I wasn't playing him as like in his 20s. No way.
Sure. Yeah, because you read the file card, I'm sure.
There you go. Had the file card with a load of Pritt stick all on top because it was stuck to someone else's. Oh, man. But look, I'm staring at the panel. Lady J's looking at that porthole, that window. Go for it, Lady J, I say. Yeah, why not? I mean...
Cocky.
That is so cinematic, though, and just, full auto. Love it.
We mentioned it up top, but the Star Viper is goading the C-130. I mean, he's just kind of pulled alongside and he's about to smoke them, but Lady J is having none of that, so she pops some caps out the porthole. And hits him too, which is amazing. Like, if you're in a fast-moving plane, firing another fast-moving plane, you got to lead your gun quite
You very much have to be shooting where he's going to be.
Arc the bullet.
Yeah, in like a video game style. The C-130's got lots of tricks up its sleeve. It has these air mines.
I thought you were going to say impenetrable plot armor. You shoot a missile at an aircraft wing, that wing's coming off. Not the case of like, oh, they knocked out our right outboard engine. No.
I like those things tumbling out the back, each one with an individual chute.
Yes.
Air mines. Never seen it before.
What, you've never watched Little Nelly in You Only Live Twice? You're a Roger Moore fan. We've established this, but does that mean?
Yeah. So You Only Live Twice is the Bond film that isn't in the official canon. Yes.
No.
Oh, wait. Which is the
official
one?
Canon? It might have been written by Roald Dahl, but it's still part of the.
No. Right. Sorry, everyone that's listening. We're gonna have to sort this out. So, what's the one that Sean Connery did after retiring?
Never Say Never Again.
Oh, sorry, Never Say, which came out the exact same time as a Roger Moore Bond film.
Yes, for your
eyes
only?
So Never Say Never Again is not included in the official count.
In a way, well, yes, the film isn't, but the story is because it's Thunderball. It's a do-over of Thunderball.
Yes, that's it. Correct. Sorry. So you were talking about you only live thrice. You only live twice. Okay, fair enough. No, I don't know that one that well. So what? There's air mines.
Is an autogyro, and it deploys bombs via little parachutes, and they land on top of a Spectre helicopter, and it explodes. Now, I don't know if there's any real-life precedent for that. Surely, like there is precedent for dispersal of ground mines by aircraft.
Yeah.
But like dropping mines out of the back of an aircraft with the hope that it would hit another aircraft seems like a strange way of doing things.
They make me think of the Jaws barrels for some reason when they're just tumbling out the back.
Right.
But it also reminds me of playing on the Sega Mega Drive F-22 Interceptor by Electronic Arts. And that was where I first learned about, so if you're in a plane, you actually do have defense procedures that you can, it's not just like, I'm dead. You've got these chaffs and flare and that was so fun deploying all of that stuff. And if it actually works, but they do it in this one, don't they? Chaff and flare.
For sure. Yeah.
So the chaff, just take me through, what's the chaff?
So with missiles, you have radar guided and you have infrared. Heat.
Oh, okay.
The heat seeker. A chaff is basically a dispersal of strips of metal.
Yes.
That sort of hang in the air and confuse a radar guided missile as to your whereabouts. It'll sooner go for the, this cloud of aluminium foil or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Than your aircraft. Flares, I mean, as I'm sure you can figure it out yourself. They're just very hot
magnesium strips.
Well, no, it's actually like a road flare, isn't it?
Okay.
But you dump a whole lot of them out the back of your plane, and the missile would sooner go for that heat source than your tailpipe.
Right. I don't think science class got any better than when we burnt magnesium strips. It's etched into me. It was the brightest thing I've ever seen.
There are more traditional air defenses being deployed. The Rattler has its gun tub.
Doesn't it feel old school when he lets that loose?
And does not make sense for the configuration of the Rattler, because the most logical place you want to be shooting if you're the gunner is like 0 degrees backwards. Yeah. And what have you got on the Rattler? A giant turbine interrupting you.
It's got a very small window there of vision. Yeah. I mean, it's poo your pants time. You don't want to. You don't want to Sean Connery Last Crusade it and just shoot across the tail and then lie about it. I'm sorry, son. He got us.
Well,
Watched that
in the
yesterday.
world of Cobra gunners, I think the guys in the Rattler tub must be the best of the best of the best. So
Yeah.
you watched it yesterday. That's
I did.
Good Easter Monday fare.
The Rattler tub is, I mean, that is exactly what it is. It is a tub. It's like he's in a washing machine.
Yes.
I mean,
And you could never actually rotate the figure around. Like,
good cozy factor.
very good cozy factor. What we are seeing on screen now is him firing backwards, but you could never achieve this with your Rattler unless you, like, separated the torso of your figure from his legs.
I mean, I lament that I never really got to enjoy, as a child, an aerial dogfight like this with my friends, because Rattlers and Sky Strikers were premium, very expensive, and, you know, aerial combat for me was running around with Tigerfly, Tomahawk, Fangs, you know, low level. I could, you know, I don't have memories of running around with other friends, like actually doing dogfighting like this. I did get the X19 though for my birthday.
Hell of a toy, that. Jeepers. Did you have the landing gear mechanism that slid straight back, or did it have sort of a lever action?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I remember thinking that it was fantastic though.
I'm gonna guess a lever action, because it being a European release.
Yeah.
The revision. The original ones had just a slide, and that tended to cave in. Didn't have as much, I suppose.
I was somewhat of a lone wolf by that time when I got that toy, and I was very much acting out what it does in this issue. It was reconnaissance, it was aerial photography, it was distant, like long distance missions. I was like, I'm going to run around with this, but I'm going to like run far.
Now he does an insane. He basically buzzes the tower.
It's time to buzz the tower
to take his pictures, which I don't know, man. Is that really the most advantageous way to take?
Lovely advert for the toy, though. There, I mean, it's perfect. It's really drawn beautifully there, but the proximity to the tower, I mean, jeez. Why not have the glass smashing? I think that would have been a good moment.
Why not have all the Cobra High commands of tumbling out? Just, it's enormous force.
What sort of photos is he getting here?
Very blurry ones.
I was going to say, you better have a hell of a shutter speed.
Yeah, if you're ripping past a close subject like that.
You're kind of etching nearer to it, but look, some of the best drawn stuff comes on the last couple of pages for my money.
You're talking about the sort of blackout stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, the old switcheroo. This a loading dock. It's fantastic.
Lots of blues and purples from
and Cobra Commander's drawn so well on the next page.
Yeah,
and it's the classic. Yeah, there. Ooh, that's fantastic.
Push in.
It's the old switcheroo again.
Something that typically GI Joe does, but Cobra's done on occasion. Like they did it in the evacuation of Springfield, and they've done it again here. They managed to hoodwink Joe. It's an interesting switch of roles.
The Star Viper
makes Cobra the winner, the protagonist. Like we're seeing their scheme succeed, which is kind of a unique bit of storytelling.
Are we led to believe that particular Star Viper had some expensive components, or they all have expensive components?
I think at this point in GI Joe lore, there is only one Star Viper.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, that's why Mindbender's obviously put a lot into him and is a little bit gutted.
Somewhat of a pioneer. Like this is the Star Viper who had ninja level sneaking skills. He got into the pit. He stole the black boxes from the shuttle. he got out. He flew back to Cobra Island. Like, he was expecting to be praised as a hero. He's not gotten it. And
It's
now
a
he
rough
dies
way to
like
go.
he's a chump, man. Yeah, totally.
Systems overload. I mean, you just want it to end at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, those are you thinking those are internal systems overloading, like all of the stuff he's had done?
I think no. I think Star Vipers, once again, it's slightly less than actual invasive, like, computer brain.
Yeah, because his helmet is really buzzing there.
I think the stiletto is screaming systems overload, and he's just getting too much data.
The sexy stiletto. Yeah.
What do you think of the Stellar Stiletto? Do you have an opinion?
So, vertical takeoff, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And how does she land?
Also, on her tail.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it fits into the rest of the vehicles. I don't hate it. I don't know much about it. Never saw one. You?
I managed to get a boxed version, Christmas 2019, at a steal.
Right.
So I have some fond memories of it, but it's not much of a vehicle, to be honest. It's one step down even from like something like the Conquest. You know, this is barely an aircraft. Like, the aircraft would typically be the more premier items of the line.
What's its MO? I mean,
vehicle.
I was going to say it's meant to breach the atmosphere, yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have 3D Joe's pulled up, and it has the box back blurb which says, streaking through the atmosphere at Mach 20. That would not go down very well. Cobra's Stellar Stiletto activates its laser guns and deep space missiles to blast the GI Joe Defiant space complex out of orbit. So I guess it's an interceptor craft. Like, if GI Joe sent up the Defiant, Cobra sends up the Stiletto to take it down. It's Cobra's answer. And Star Viper is posited as an army builder on his file card. You know, the language is like, Star Vipers are exceedingly dangerous in action. But yeah, it does seem like they have. Oh, they've got the electromagnetic shunt. So I've been on the wrong premise this whole time. A Star Viper has actually got the sort of computer brain.
Right. Yeah. So he really is having a systems overload there.
Totes.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it would be useless sub-atmosphere, like in terms of maneuvering, and it looks like it's very good in straight lines.
Yeah. But I mean, that is a valid tactic, sort of hit and run maneuver. You can make these very quick passes and do absolutely devastating. It's not a dogfighter. You know, it would take like the state of Texas to execute a turn.
Yeah.
It could absolutely rip through formations and then double back and do it again.
I think you're right about this issue. It could be ARA, couldn't it? Although it is a unique.
It's less. It's somehow. It's less than a ARA issue would be. An ARA issue would give you more than this. This is absolutely just bonus material. This is an extra.
Yes. Yeah.
Getting back to the Rec Room, though, this is something that kind of answers the question of who flies Cobra Rattlers. Because Wild Weasel is a named character, whereas Strata Vipers, Star Vipers for the most part, are all army builders. But here we see guys in Wild Weasel's flight suit, even down to the color, but they are just regular, I don't know.
The NPCs.
What would you even call them? What is a Rattler pilot called in Cobra? They aren't all called Wild Weasels.
No, and it's never something that they've kind of answered, I guess. I mean, it looks more like
here we get a definitive look at the fact that Wild Weasel's flight suit is not unique.
Yeah.
It's not particular to him. There are other red flight suit Rattler pilots within Cobra.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like a Crimson Guard there.
Totally, yeah. It's not just a color reserved for special troops. Like, that's just the Rattler's uniform.
I like that their pinball machine looks aerial themed as well, though. It's some kind of aircraft one. Look. So good. Well, look, what else can we say about this issue? I think we've digested it, dissected it enough. I was just having a flick through the ads to see if anything... What's this? Bigger than you figure? I don't even know what that is. Some kind of chocolate bar?
I think like a chewy.
It's cool, though. That's actually a nice piece of art. Look, also, again, these issues are very minty. They really are. Now, I flick through here. Here we go. Look at this thing. Freedom Stick. Now, were you big on peripherals? Me and my brother, we just liked the official, the licensed stuff. Chief liked all the arcade sticks, third-party controllers, gimmicks, auto fires, all of that. Where are you with that?
A quote from Chief comes to mind.
This was wireless.
That.
What?
He says, I like my stuff, baby.
I mean, that was not working. It's a wireless remote in 1988.
Do not let anyone walk in front of the beam. Make sure it is locked down on a table directly pointing at the receiver. I mean, like...
Because that looks like the NES arcade stick. And
the wireless
that was
technology
cool.
in 1988
No.
sucked.
Yeah, of course it did. I mean, you could barely turn the volume up using your TV remote, let alone play a video game. What else have we got here? I don't know, what board game is this? Dragonlance? Tabletop?
TSR, yeah. That is a Buck Rogers.
Oh, well, I was a huge Buck Rogers fan on the Sega Mega Drive. Fantastic turn-based game. Cool. I'd name my crew. I'd give them all Star Wars names. Usually like the Bounty Hunters. If ever there was a video game where you had to make your own team, be it like Zuckuss. Worms or anything, I was always like Forlom, Zuckuss, Dengar, Obscure. My friends were just like, who are those guys? Ugh.
Professor Zuckuss.
Don't you know? Oh, yeah, no, Professor. So yeah, during COVID, where I had to become a teacher, I became Professor Forlom. Incredible. Jeez.
Great one then.
Here we go. Just let's finish out on, we'd like to shed a little light on your upcoming hits. What is happening here?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dominating the foreground, and then a skater?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was Turtles in Time or something. But no, I don't know what that is.
Well, it'll be in the fine print, no doubt.
Yeah.
For anyone listening along, Ben is puzzling over a print ad for what upcoming... Are they Capcom type? No, Konami, surely.
Ultra Games, this is.
Ultra, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I think Ultra was a local American-based publisher for Konami. Because of the limitation on the amount of hardware that Nintendo allowed.
The only Turtles game I'm nostalgic for was the one that was just in every bowling alley and every Laser Quest foyer, and that was the 4-player cabinet. Was it Turtles in Time? I don't know. I don't know. They've actually reduxed it recently, and it's down at my local arcade. Huge cabinet, 4-player. It was very similar to, there was a Simpsons game that was essentially the same, but just reskinned. And you'd...
a little bit more than reskinned, Ben. I mean, like, those were absolutely the coin munchers of their day.
Yes, they were.
The X-Men 4-player, or was it 6-player cab? The Turtles, and the Simpsons.
You know, when you got your power bar up enough and you were Homer, he'd do his manic mode or something. And it was similar with the Turtles, I think.
I remember Marge with her
Hoover
vacuum cleaner.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, few people were playing as Marge. I think I was just Bart or Homer every time, if I remember correctly. And then if it was Turtles, I'd always be Michelangelo. Who'd you got in the Turtles lineup? Yeah. Crikey, were we all just Mikey?
It's funny. Some people say to me that he's not the most popular. But
Right.
it really depends on who you ask.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, we will be back next week, and I tell you what, there's something about next week's show that is special. That's all I'm going to leave you with. It's a special episode, and it's a special issue. So, that's a date. That's a dinner date. I'll be there. S-Dubs will be there.
You betcha. Will you be there?
So look, you can follow me over on Instagram at BenFlyingRetro. Listen to my other podcast I do with Wifey, People Who Play, over on Substack. I've been checking out the flagship. You've just done something on the Wolf that I need to listen to.
So sorry, Ben. More wolf envy.
Yeah,
buddy.
Damn. What else?
You need that toy in your life.
What else have you been doing? You've done some really good ones.
1985 occupied 3 episodes.
Yeah, love that.
And then we spoke a little bit about the most recent comic books. Both.
Yes, I caught up. I caught up, and I got the Jinx silent issue because you were like, "Oh, he's hit the reset button. He's hit the reset button," and yeah, he absolutely has. For sure. So, but this kind of got me interested to see what he's going to do next. It's so unusual for him to spend 15 issues on something that is just one storyline. I can't think of anything in the original 155 that is 15 issues. Did he get into that after 155, or it's just...
Oh, gosh. I mean, Larry doesn't write for trades. There's always a hangover. So it doesn't feel like there's as clean a break between these things. Because he'll often, you think he's tied something off, but then 10 years later, he'll come back to it.
Yeah.
This run is so long.
It's strange.
We're totally off script now.
I'm more excited about this than the relaunch because I feel like he's tying up loose ends for 15 issues quite slowly, and now we might actually get something new and interesting, potentially. Well, yeah. There's
always been a curiosity about where GI Joe is going to go now, and for me it has flipped between being a morbid curiosity, like I want to see this thing go down in flames, to now being quite an optimistic curiosity of wow, it's a historical run, and it's the same guy who wrote issue 1 is currently writing issue 316, 17, 18. That doesn't ever happen, and it's GI Joe. It's happened to my thing. So who knows? Sky's the limit.
Yeah. What else did I catch up with GI Joe? I don't know. Yeah, the silent issues are fun. What's coming up next? Spirit and
has been released.
Roadblock.
Yeah.
Has Spirit been released? It wasn't. When I was in the comic shop, it wasn't there. Maybe it's this week it's come out. I don't know.
Maybe your comic shop is a little bit behind.
Probably. And Roadblock as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's it? Or
there'll be Duke.
Rounding Duke?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
6-pack.
Is it got anything to do with the continuity, the Duke one, or no?
I hope so. I don't know. I don't want to tip my hand necessarily, but I don't think all of these silent issues are worthy of being silent issues. I don't think there's a special reason for some of them being silent. The Jinx one is the outlier because I do feel like it warrants being a silent issue. But it feels like it might be a bit of a strained concept for all of them. So what are they going to do with Duke that requires him to be completely silent? Let's see. And Roadblock, is he working in the kitchen and just I don't know, in his own mind? Basically.
Hey, well look, that's a good point to leave it because I've got to work in my kitchen and get some lunch out for these damn kids.
Get it, boy.
Dude, I'll see you on the next episode. Yo, Joe.
Cobra!